Thank you very much. That's a very good question because it seems that as time goes on, our elected representatives are not hearing what we tell them. Time and time again, we send them to Queen's Park, to Ottawa, to our city halls, and they still don't listen to what we tell them. This has to change. As your independent representative, I would be listening to what your needs are in this particular matter. If you wish to sell the farm, I'll enable legislation that can make that happen. If you wish to have additional immigrants be coming onto our farms and help us and grow our farms, I'll make that happen. The things that can be done are limitless. It's just a matter of we get together and say, this is what we'd like to have done. One of the ways to do it by the petition method is how the legislature seems to function. Although it's unfortunate that you have to go through that type of methodology, but that's the way the system is designed currently. To eliminate some of the red tape and burdensomeness of having this type of procedure, I would implement the ability to have local food councils be able to decide what it is that we want to have in our respective regions. That way we can bring forth our particular needs to the legislators to develop their potential and make sure that they're working for us as opposed to against our interests.
Yes,
Thank you.
Food has become very important in this election. I've noticed a big change in the last 4 years. It's become important to urban dwellers as well as farm communities. So one of the things the Green Party will do is make sure the Ontario Food Terminal, which processes most of the food that's available to us in urban centres, has a much higher requirement for local food production. We also are going to require all public institutions, including schools and hospitals, to have a 40% local food or regional food policy. We're also going to require that food be back in, nutrition be back in the curriculum in high schools, and we'll offer programs after schools for community members and students to learn about cooking and where their food comes from and the importance of local food. I already mentioned about organic, making that transition. We're going to have peer-to-peer training for farmers to transition. And in terms of business risk insurance, we're not going to wait for the federal government to invest. We will already provide business risk insurance for farmers. It'll be good if the federal government does, and we'll encourage them, but we won't wait for their participation. That will also, the business risk insurance will also cover a wider array of products, will not negatively affect those who have had poor years, and it will also be more, there'll be more coverage on for organic farmers. I think I've covered everything I wanted to say there.
So I already covered a little bit of this in my previous answer around the infrastructure that's needed for farm gate production, but I'm just going to kind of add a couple of more things to that are really important parts of the NDP platform around agriculture. One is the plan to reward job creators. So if you create a new full-time position, you will be eligible for a tax credit, and that will be extended to the agricultural sector. So those businesses that do expand and take that risk to bring on a full-time employee will be eligible for that tax credit, and as well as the investing in your production. So that's an option in terms of the economic viability. And another important thing is we also have a buy local program. So if your government is spending your tax dollars, it ought to be on Ontario grown products. And so where food is being purchased for government agencies and ministries, schools and hospitals, there will be a requirement to purchase some of those products locally.
Thank you. I just wish we had more time, because agriculture is the biggest discussion agriculture we've ever had, and this is our sixth debate, and it's very, very important. I need to add a couple of things to the previous question. The risk management that I said, we were implementing it without help from the federal government. It'd be nice if they came up aboard, but they haven't, but we're doing it without them. And it's the biggest investment made in agriculture in 25 years in Ontario. I'd like to say that right now, today, the biggest industry in Ontario is agriculture. It surpassed the automotive industry. So it's something that we need to take very, very seriously. To the question on hand about Farmgate. So I'm proud to say that about 7 years ago, I brought a number of farming industry folks in my office. That's when the price of grains and oilseeds were going down the tank. And I was getting lots of phone calls. So I said, help me do something about this. I don't want to talk about the price of the commodities because that's what they are. So we came out with a strategy to promote what is now proudly Northumberland. And that was with the help of the local farming, not farmers, farmer industry folks in this riding. It was a good idea. The county bought into it, Northumberland County. They hire a staff person, and today we have proudly Northumberland. Go one step further, the province has adopted. You know the good saying, good things grow in Ontario? I can't think, I've tried, but I can't do it. I'm going to take credit for that because that promoting local food to the level we did in the last 4 years has started right here. So we invested some $80 million province-wide to promote proudly Northumberland. We're going to carry that on for those investments made through Foodland Ontario. It's got the great slogan, and plus through Farmers Markets Ontario. I can tell you, I visited a number of food stands and also farmers markets over the summer. The last 3 years, the best years they've ever had, and it's been going up every year. So we're not going to stop there, so we're investing another $80 million to keep the pedal to the metal so we can go a little bit further. Thank you.